The Season 3 update of WarzoneMobile came with a lot of mixed feelings and experiences for different people and devices too. So I spent a little bit of time going through the obvious and not so obvious changes that came with this particular update, from the layout down to the performance of the game in general. After I saw a lot of reaction from you guys to the Season 3 update, I kind of realized some things I say in this video might not relate to you, especially when it comes to the game's performance. And if that's the case, I would love to know your personal experience with this particular update. Also, shout out to the Naughty Gang, and if you're new here, welcome to the channel. Also subscribe if you love the content. Before we start talking of the changes in the game, I think I have to say this off the rip. If you are somebody using an iOS device, then I think this update might feel like the best update since the release of the game. If you are somebody among the vast majority of Android users, then this update is honestly going to sting a bit, and this isn't me being dramatic at all. So let's dive into the major changes the game came with in this new update. First thing I noticed is the change in the layout of the lobby. It's quite obvious the UI of the update has been improved after the update, with the loadout section moved to the bottom lower of the left screen, and I personally think it looks better that way. Going to the game modes, there wasn't any UI overhaul, but a new map has been integrated in the game. And if you have played a fair share of most COD games, Rust is significantly a popular map. In the background is my phone's performance, and I personally didn't notice any huge amount of performance changes with my experience, but I think the hitting issue has reduced in comparison to my previous experiences prior to the update. Heading to the Battle Royale part of the game during the playing animation before you hop out, and also throughout any match with your teammates, you can now see your teammate's name hovering above their heads. And finally, the addition of the follow button has been integrated into the game. This simply means you can actually follow a teammate's lead while landing from the plane. This might seem insignificant, but I've subconsciously been waiting to see this particular feature. Rendering of objects and building appear to have been improved. Also, the resolution of the game has gotten quite better with a little bit of depth added to the graphics, which makes it look better generally. It still takes a little bit of time to render ground loot after you pick up a weapon, but this is just my own personal experience. I've also had some Android users back up this claim, but as I said, everyone's experience hasn't really been the same with this update. So if this wasn't the case for you, I would love to know what your experience felt like in the comments. You can now rejoin a match after you forcefully close the application or after your connection is lost for some time. When reopening the game, you will be asked if you want to rejoin the match or quit. That way you can resume any pending match. And finally, plunder mode also came with the Season 3 update. I would say this is the only change that introduced something totally different or something we would consider new content. In case you don't know what this is, I'll be breaking down plunder mode in a separate video, so stay tuned for that. With this being the biggest update the devs have dropped with the release of WarzoneMobile, you know, the update that is expected to resolve most of the pending issues with the game, the reality is accompanied with a particular question: was the Season 3 update worth it? Although most iPhone users are still having some iOS issues, overall, as far as iOS devices, it seems and feels like the game has become a little bit more optimized. I think majority of iOS users can agree with that, especially towards the high-end device users, like from the iPhone 13 upwards. And in the background is the personal experience I've had using my iPhone 11. But when it comes to the Android part of things, although I've had some positive reviews from some Android users, to the vast amount of the mobile gaming community, this update was not anything spectacular. The truth is, with all the drama surrounding WarzoneMobile, the game itself is an awesome addition to the mobile gaming platform, and there hasn't been any mobile gaming experience like it, especially with the cross progression and the PC quality graphics for those that can run it. We have never had a game like this, and maybe the game is ahead of its time considering the performance ratio from the M2 iPads to most Android devices, not forgetting the fact that most people playing mobile games simply cannot afford to get these very high-end devices, which basically cost as much as some PCs, and I think that's where the problem lies. With that being said, I would love to know how you feel about this update and also your experiences. I just want to take a quick second to honestly thank each and every one of you that have been watching and liking my videos, especially in the comments whether you agree with me or not. It doesn't really matter. And for the new subscribers that happen to discover my channel because of WarzoneMobile, I totally appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one.